Asava, this is Geo Blazerbolt from GamerFusion.com, and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about the Court of Oryx. I want to give a big shout out to my good friend Message Sean for sending me over this footage so I could share it with you guys. I'll be leaving a link down below in the description with his YouTube so you guys can definitely check him out. But let's go ahead and dive into the nitty gritty, which is the Court of Oryx. What could we expect out of the Court of Oryx? You know, what's in there, what could we find, and how are we able to explore? So first and foremost, I want to go ahead and let you guys know the Court of Oryx is huge, guys. It's very, very big portion of terrain that you have to cover. So in order for you to actually enter the Court of Oryx, first things you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure you spawn a patrol, and you're going to have to make your way towards the Court of Oryx. Once you get to the Court of Oryx, you are going to notice there's a total of 6 statues, 3 to the left and 3 to the right within the Court of Oryx. Now, each statue will give you the ability to use one rune. So if you guys have watched my YouTube videos, yesterday I uploaded a video explaining the runes and how they work. So I'll leave a link in this video so you guys can definitely check that out. But just to give you guys a quick overview, you're going to need a rune to summon the boss. Now, these runes are built within tiers. You have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 runes. Now, the statues on the left-hand side, those statues are the ones that allow you to summon tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. Each tier is represented by the difficulty of each boss you're going to encounter. So for the Tier 1, you're going to need 190 light. Like I said prior to my rune video, 190 light is pretty much once you hit level 40 within your character, you should be able to be at least 190 light. Tier 2 is 240 light, and Tier 3 being 290 light. Now, this light is represented on the amount of damage you're going to be able to do to each individual boss. Now, do keep in mind, Destiny is changing. You're no longer going to be required to have a specific level. Everything is going to be based on light. You're going to be able to notice the light difference once I show you guys the way the Tier 2 event looks like and how much damage you're able to output. So keep in mind that the light level for a Tier 2 event is 240. If you go in there with 200 light level, you will not be doing damages to the enemies. So that way we know the difference of light level it takes for us to actually enter an event, which is 40, because if we're 201, we will be able to output some damage. Not that much damage, but we will be able to output some damage. So just keep in reference, similar to the way it was prior to vanilla Destiny, where you had 3 different levels. So if you were trying to do a raid that was 30 and you were level 27, you were able to do that raid. It's very similar to the way it applies to light, just that this time instead of being 3 levels, it's 40% of light. So like I put that example, 240 event and you're 201, you're able to do damage. If you're 200, you're not able to do damage because that fits within the 40% of the light. So now that we know what we're able to do in the Court of Oryx, how do you summon bosses and how do you kill the bosses? What techniques do you have to imply for each individual boss? So in order for you to summon the boss, you're going to need a rune. Only one person can present a rune per round, and that person that presents a rune will get the majority of the loot for the round. If you want to go ahead and play another event, someone else has to present a rune, because there's a cooldown time of how long it takes you to be able to present a rune every single time. This way it encourages people to stick by you and help you out to complete the events if they also want to get a good amount of loot. So the mechanics of the bosses are quite interesting. If you guys recall, usually when you would go to a patrol, all you would do is wait for that patrol to drop, and then once that patrol drops, all you do is kill people, kill ads, and that's pretty much the way you wipe out patrols. This one is very different than a regular patrol. Not only are you able to control when the patrol shows, because once you present the rune, the boss spawns. It takes a mechanical system for you to defeat the boss. So we played with a couple different bosses, and the bosses are very different mechanics. So for example, you have one of the bosses, which is a Augur. The only way you're able to kill this Augur is he's immune to any bullets, but there's cursed thrall spawning. Once these cursed thralls spawn right next to him, you shoot the cursed thrall. It will bring down the shield from the Augur, and you're able to shoot him for a minimal time, and it's pretty much wash and repeat until you kill the Augur. There's also another boss, which are 3 wizards. These 3 wizards require you to actually shoot all of them and kill them all at the same time or within a good time frame, or else they will respawn and you will have to do it over and over. Actually, pretty easy boss, but it requires a very good amount of teamwork. Then there's another boss, which are the knights that spawn together. These knights are kind of interesting because the only way you're able to bring down their shields and actually kill them is if they're together. So you gotta pair them together, get them close by each other. So when you start shooting them, they will no longer be immune. You could start killing them once they're together or stacked up together. Then there's another boss, which is a interesting boss, a Cabal boss that will spawn a bunch of taken Cabals. So all you have to do is kill his minions first. Once you kill everybody around him, you will then be able to go ahead and start shooting the main boss. As you know, this is one of the main focal points that Destiny and Bungie wanted to put together within this new Taken King DLC to avoid having a bunch of bosses that were just bullet point bunches, but actually have bosses that require some type of mechanism to be able to defeat them. Now, there is another tier, which is a tier 4. We learned this through the Edge magazine, and these tier are going to be some similar type of raid bosses. Out of these bosses, we currently have absolutely no idea how you're able to play them. We don't even have an idea of how the tier 3 event is, because in this footage we were only able to see tier 1 and tier 2, so we don't know exactly what we're going to be able to do in tier 1. So tier 1 spawns one boss that requires a mechanism. Tier 2 spawns a boss, but not only one boss, but it spawns two bosses at the same time. So you got to kill both bosses at the same time. Tier 3 event, we have currently no idea on what it does or what the mechanics of the tier 3 is. And tier 4, we do have an idea of the way the bosses will, constrain. We do know that the bosses are going to be like raid bosses. Now, within the Court of Oryx, that's not the only thing you're going to be able to do. You're also going to be able to have a lot of time to explore, because there is a lot of hidden stuff within the Court of Oryx. It's pretty much, think of it exploring a big vast area where there's a lot of hidden passageway, a lot of hidden platforms, a lot of hidden stuff. And currently, at this current moment right now, we do not have an idea of how to get to certain areas, but it's just going to require a lot of teamwork, not only from your fire team, but also from the community, and find out all the secrets that the Court of Oryx has in store for us. So I'm super excited for the Court of Oryx. Can't wait to play it. Can't wait to get my hands on it September 15. One of the most interesting things coming to Destiny, and I do see this playing a big factor on, when the game gets released. One thing I do want to point out is that the Court of Oryx is only for a fire team of 3, even though you're able to play it with 6 other people. If there's other people within the arena or within the patrol mission, then they're able to jump in and help you out and defeat that boss. But currently right now, it's only a 3-man fire team, event. So get your guns ready, get your light level ready, and get ready to enter the Court of Oryx. Once again, guys, this has been GF Laserable from GamerFusion.com, reminding you for all things Destiny, and especially the Taken King, head over to GamerFusion.com, where we empower your gaming.